Oh, it's fine. Hey yo, I was gone for a year and a bit. Um, this is my critique on ScotRail. I have many. First of all, leaving to Edinburgh Gateway, not Edinburgh Gateway, Waverley. First of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Two, count them two, sometimes three if you're lucky. Carriages on a on a journey with 13 stops. Calling at such busy stations such as Inverkeithing, Markinch, Yin, Kirkcaldy. Like, are you being so serious? Because what do you mean? And it was on the news too. Well, it isn't just me that's fucking complaining about it. Fucking, what you got? Jenny Gilruth, MSP, was like, hey, what the fuck? You opened this new train journey thing with two new stops serving a whole town and the greater East Nuke of Fife, and you were like, mm, two carriages will do. Hello, what? Are you dense? And it's not just that journey. I remember in, was it, I think it was December time, a rugby game was on a Sunday, which first of all, you're fucking dense for that. I was trying to get to college because at the time I was living on campus, two stops away. No, yeah, train stops away from Edinburgh. And I was so pissed off because I got on at, I think it was Cooper. Yeah, Cooper, because Leaving hadn't opened yet. Got on at Cooper and it was relatively packed, fair enough. I mean, I expect that from a journey like that. We get to By the time we get to Kirkcaldy, which is like what, leave rank marking, two stops? What? Yeah, two stops away. More people got on, and I was like, I can't take this because I'm autistic and I don't like people touching me, and I was sharing the same CO2 as a fucking honking old man. So I got off the train and be like, I cut my losses, I'll get the next one. Next one came from Perth and it was going via Fife, obviously. And two carriages. Huh? Two car on a rugby game day? Like, I'm trying to get to college. I'm just trying to survive. Two carriages is fucking diabolical. And they do this often. On very busy days, they say, oh, we're using every single carriages we can. But then when you go to see it, it's like, what? Two carriages, maybe three, five if you're on the Inter 7 City ones, which, by the way, I've seen you get more on. I remember you got like seven on busy days. What do you mean you're using every single one in your arsenal? My fucking ass. I know what you're doing. You're using it on fucking those trains that nobody get on around Edinburgh because it's more popular. People live in 5-2, you know. We're not fucking dying. And besides, it comes from Dundee. Huh? All the other fucking services are either going to fucking Aberdeen, um, so from Dundee is Aberdeen, Arbroath, Perth, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. Edinburgh to Dundee is 2 an hour. One of them is into 7 City one, which only stops at Lucas Cooper, Edinburgh Haymarket, Edinburgh Waverley. So, maybe Inverkeithing if you're lucky. Inverkeithing, by the way, full of posh twats. Why are you acting like you're better than everybody else? You live in a shit part of Fife. Your house is shit. You probably live in shit. You're not special. Don't piss me off. I remember I got on and this woman was like, because I got on and I had to sit on the floor because it was packed and wasn't gonna sit next to somebody. I'm sorry, have you ever been on a packed train before? Not everyone can afford to get a fucking taxi. You clearly can. Your fucking sugar daddy probably ran out of money, left you for some other fucking younger girl because guess what, bitch? You're Asian. Oh, and not to mention, mm, they do this and then they expect us to be like, oh, we love ScotRail. Secondly, that was my first point, and 5 minutes in. Secondly, I'm pissed off at ScotRail because off peak was stopped and now people can't afford to go. And they were like, oh, we were just trialing it to see if people would actually use it more. Turns out they did use it more, but not enough, apparently. But now people can barely get to work. And they're so concentrated on getting cars off the road, then lower the fucking prices. The prices are extortionate. You're telling me it's £5.55 for me to go from Dundee to Cooper, 2 stops? Don't piss me off, and that's a single. I remember when that was like £3, and that was what, a year ago? Oh, you know. Third critique. I was recently on the speedy train that goes from Edinburgh to Glasgow via Falkirk High. Now, I have my grievances with this train because what do you mean 40 minutes? Okay, fair enough. But then it's it's so busy. Not the train itself. Well, it is, but my problem is I know I hate generalizing this, but it's true. People from Glasgow are fucking weirdos. They've trashed the place. They leave the empties on the fucking train seats. When I got on, I looked to my left and I say, oh, look, about 10 empties of alcohol, which, moving on to my next point soon, like, what do you, huh? You don't clean the trains, which I get. Okay, nobody wants to clean their trains, but maybe if you paid your janitors more, we wouldn't have this fucking problem. Okay, next point is, what was I talking about? Hmm. Oh, yeah, the no alcohol policy. Okay, that's fair enough. Nobody likes to be on a tube barreling down from the train track, so it's like 70 miles per hour if you're lucky, with a drunk man sitting next to you, maybe hitting on the other girls. Poor things, a 50-year-old drunk man hitting on you and you're 17, sometimes 13. He doesn't care. No alcohol. Oh, shit. No alcohol, but when I look to my left, I see, oh, look, a whole bunch of people drinking Buckfast, vodka, and Pinot Grigio, champagne in a bottle of their fucking bougie, which, get first class if you're really that bougie. That's my next point after that. And I look to my train conductors checking your tickets, and they don't say anything. Okay, fair enough. But if you're gonna say no alcohol is permitted in or around the train stations or trains, I'm like, why did you implement that policy if you're not gonna enforce it? It's like a new one too. It only recently came out, like last year. Nobody does it. Everybody drinks on the train. I can't drink, obviously, on a train because I can't afford drinks. And if I could, I wouldn't drink them on the train. I'd get a massive hangover by the time I got home. What's my next point? What was I talking about? I keep making points and then moving on and then not talking about it. Oh yeah, you not paying your workers. ScotRail is now public. So it means, like, the Scottish government now gives its pay and stuff, mostly. Tell me why you never fucking pay your workers. Every time I roll over to bed, I get a fucking notification on my phone saying that the ScotRail people are going on strike because you won't fucking pay your workers. Is it that bad? Is it... And then we get punished for it, even though it's supposed to be publicized or public, non-privatized. Yeah, that. Mm. Next point, kind of touching on what I said at the first one, why is it £5.55 a single? 2 stops coming from Dundee to Cooper, single mind you, off peak as well, but it's £8 for me to get from Leven to Edinburgh. Huh? What is it? I know I talked to someone and they said that it was because that the Edinburgh Council and I think it was the Fife Council came in agreement that if you're an hour away from work or less, you can get a significantly reduced train price rate. Okay, that's fine. £8, not bad, with rail card. Cooper to Edinburgh, £14.70 or something. That's less stops. What? Yeah. And I doubt diesel prices have gone up that recently. Why are you being stingy? I'm so tired. They keep saying, oh, everyone needs to stop getting into their cars and everybody needs to start using public transport more. I'm trying. I mean, I don't have a car yet, but I'm gonna have to because of my hopefully future job. Tell me which nature reserve is right next to a bus stop. I'll wait. Especially up in the Highlands. I want to live in Skye. I want to look after the wildlife up there. Maybe somewhere else. I'm not picky. As long as it's not an essential belt, I'm fine. Just pisses me off. We need more services to Leven Station as well. An hour is it's fine. I've seen worse. But every time I go into the Leven Station, it's always fucking packed. No matter rain or shine, 6 a.m. or fucking 11 p.m. or whatever. I have a bone to pick with people who get on the train as well. I've already talked about how I hate people from Inverkeithing. Mr. Man, Alan, Peter, Gary, whatever your fucking name is. There is so many seats available. Why the fuck are you sitting next to me? I'm looking over at 4 seats faced at the ones that go do. Why are you sitting next to me? There's a whole fucking seats over there. Get your stinky ass away from me. I don't want to smell you. The old lady opposite doesn't want to smell me. Also, I've got a dilemma. I don't know what to do about this. When I'm on public transport, what do you do? Do you well, hold on, first of all, when you're on a packed train, but a load of people get off and there's seats available just next to you in the carriage, like not next to you, but across the aisle or down that way, do you get up and sit in those seats, or B, stay where you are? Because A, I would like my personal space, but B makes it sound like you don't want to sit next to that person, which I don't, let's be honest. You smell like mothballs, you're drinking, you're talking to your wife about how when you get home you better have food in the oven, otherwise you're going to beat her. But when I move, I feel like I'm saying fuck you to that person, which I don't want to say. I say it in my head, but I'm not saying it to be malicious. I just don't want to sit next to you because you smell like piss. Uh, my final point, probably, if I think of more, I'll go on, is people from, I'm gonna say it, impoverished areas. I'm sorry. Okay, shoot me in the eyes, bitch. Every time I've gotten on a train that goes through an impoverished area, such as Uphull, Livingston, Helensburgh, Glasgow, especially fucking Glasgow and Paisley, why is it always fucking littered with empty tins of alcohol? Oh, I just want to sit down, but I clearly can if the whole fucking carriage is covered in alcohol tins. And it's always when you get a train that either comes from or goes to Glasgow. And I'm sorry, I sound like a posh twat saying this. I'm really not. I'm on benefits too. I just was raised better apparently because people can't fucking teach their children don't litter. There's bins on the train. 4 bins, sometimes 6 if you can get no, 8 in one carriage if you got the ones that are under the seats. Depends what kind of class train you're on. Just pissing me off. Is that my final point though? I think train conductors, let me think about this carefully before I say this. I think train conductors should have the power and the balls, really, to fine people on the spot for littering. Check over the cameras, check their tickets if you check them, because sometimes you don't, which is going to be my next point. Track them down, fucking, if they're on the train, give them a fine. You do that for people who get the wrong type of rail card discount, even though it's the same discount, same price. You can do that to other people. So stop fining people for such a frivolous thing. It doesn't matter. Oh, but admin work, don't piss me off. Everyone doesn't care. Just fucking, if you're gonna be consistent, be consistent. I just fucking hate it. On my point of consistency, and my next point, those fucking bitches who don't check your tickets when it's like, one time I paid like £40 for a ticket from Dundee to fucking Glasgow, and they didn't check my fucking tickets, which is fine because I had to use the tickets anyway to get out the gates. But still, you're stopping at what, Perth, which doesn't have ticket gates, I think. Let me remember. Okay, they do, never mind. Stirling doesn't have any, I don't think. But you should still do it because you've got to check, like, oh, what if they're sitting in first class, which people aren't. Apparently, only 2% of people in all passengers, only 2% of the year was using first class, and it wasn't even a regular basis. And plus, what is first class anyway? It's just it's clearly just a way to grab money. Why are you telling me it's like £20 more to sit in a shitty seat? Same quality, same tables. The only difference is that it's by yourself, so you don't have to sit next to anyone. Don't fucking piss me off. You don't even get services on that train. The only time you get services to get snacks is sometimes, if you're lucky, on the Inter7 City ones that go from Aberdeen to Edinburgh, or sometimes, very rarely, if you're lucky, quiet trains going from Edinburgh to Dundee. Should I took buses down? Sure, why not? Buses pisses me off, right? Sometimes, in fact, no, I'm not going to even say sometimes, all the time. The X58 that goes from Edinburgh to, what do you call it? St Andrews. Why the fuck did you loop around Dalgety Bay and go through Inverkeithing? You don't need to loop around Dalgety Bay. It's an X service. It's supposed to be an express journey. Why does it take you 2.5 hours just to get to Edinburgh, which should be at tops an hour and a half? The X60 does it, doesn't loop around. Why does the X58 do it? And the people who live on the south side of Dalgety Bay are sitting here, if they're fucking watching this, are going like, but I really want to go to Edinburgh. You have bus services that go to the train station. It'll be cheap for you. Don't piss me off either. And not to mention, Moffat and Williamson bus services take the most fucking whacked route ever. 64 starts off, I think, fine, goes towards the hospital, goes up to thing, starts off fine until you get to that one street that it decides to go U-turn, 3-point turn by the way. If you're gonna do it, put a freaking turn and circle in there. Jesus Christ, it gives me anxiety every time because it looks like you're gonna crash into the cars. Then you go down across Craigton, up, I think it's Craigton. Yeah, it is. Up to Strathkinnis, go round, fair enough. Go down across Pitscotty, Craigroff, you go, eh, eh. There's no point. Go up to fucking Cooper, take a fucking silly ass route going, go through the fucking suburbs of Cooper, go to Strathfielden Hospital, go to Springfield, which is fine, go along, shoot up to fucking Letham for some reason, go down again, then go to Ladybank, fucking, for starters, Ladybank, are you serious? I don't know, I never actually lived there, never actually been there more than like 5 times, and all of them were like passing. But anyways, you go down, you go up, you go to Dunshell, Falkland, Strathmiglo, Gateside, Auchtermuchty, down to Glenrothes. Tell me why it takes Glenrothes, Moffat and Williamson buses, who are notoriously late and take long fucking journeys, less time to get from Glenrothes to Falkland than it does for a stagecoach bus, which is known for being relatively short journeys, more time. It's because you keep looping around fucking Glenrothes. Nobody fucking cares. We've got town services in fucking Glenrothes. Next point I want to fucking touch on relating to buses. The East Nuke has 2 free buses. If you draw a line from St Andrews down to Leven, you get 3 buses. Count them 3. X58, X60, 95. People live in the East Nuke too, by the way. The Go Flexi simply doesn't fucking cut it. I have to book a week in advance if I want to get to college on time. And sometimes they do the stupid ass things, whoever's behind the fucking app, going, this happened to me, not 2 weeks ago actually. Wednesday morning, okay, I booked it a couple of days ago. I was like, okay, I want to book a flexi from my house to college. Should be fine. Okay, picking you up at 8. Okay, fine. Dropping you off at 10. No, it was picking me up at 9 and dropping me off at 10. I was like, why does it take you an hour to get to college? It's a 15-minute journey. 20 minutes if you got traffic. This bitch, whoever is behind the app, coordinating the journeys, decided to pick 2 other people up who get onto St Andrews, and then we had to go over to Cooper. The driver wasn't happy about it either. It's a different zone completely. It is zone 1 for Cooper and then zone 4 for St Andrews. Don't piss me off. So, why? I'm late for college now. Granted, it was only about 7 minutes, but still, I don't like being on a bus that takes an hour. Just please, it's not hard. Please, for the love of God, put more services in East Nuka 5, otherwise I'm gonna shoot myself. And this is the kicker, by the way. Hourly services. Anstruther and other services get 2 hours. But granted, a 95 takes a fucking long ass time. I think it was like an hour and a half to do a, what, 20-30 minute journey? Oh, and I don't get it because people in Edinburgh complain about, they've cancelled, they've took away one bus that 4 other buses plus the tram takes you to. Oh, how will I survive? Why have to wait another 5 minutes for a bus? Oh, how does it feel, ho? Had to wait an hour and a half for a bus once because it was so fucking delayed. And no, I couldn't have done something else because Stagecoach app was down at the time and didn't tell me when the bus was. And it just pisses me off because I once read article. No, it wasn't an article. It was a post on fucking Facebook. Of course, it was. It was this not even old woman. She was about 20 or something, complaining that one of the bus services no longer serves the airport, so therefore she has to get some other train. She's like, oh wait, no, it wasn't that. It was because she was complaining that they cancelled the extension route to the south of Edinburgh for the tram, and I was like, what you want about? It's not even that expensive to get to from Edinburgh Airport. It costs you £2 tops. You just get the tram from Waverley. Myself, I'm recording a video. I'm complaining. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, the woman was complaining, and I posted like, "Hey, it's £2. It's not going to be that much to just get there, and plus you got the fucking passes, don't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, fair enough. It's just really inconvenient." I was like, I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to sound like a bitch. And this is unrelated to buses, but I'm still going to complain about it in the first place. I like to snoop on Facebook groups. Okay, shoot me in the eyes, bitch. I hate it. Well, I love it actually. I love listening to people gossip and complain about youngins on electric scooters shooting past or whatever. And this woman was complaining that in Markinch, one of the shops no longer does every service. And that means they have to go all the way to Glenrothes. Oh, poor you. You can literally walk from Glenrothes to Markinch Centre. There's a dedicated path to it. It's safe. It doesn't even go across the roads apart from like when you get to the centre, but that's it. There's traffic lights too. And poor you, you have to go all the way to Glenrothes, which by the way is like 1 mile. I couldn't help myself. I complained. I was like, bitch, it's not that hard. Just get the bus to Glenrothes. This bitch, not even related, chimes in, goes, is really inconvenient for people actually. I'm like, to get on a 5 minute bus. Don't piss me off, honestly. Well, that's it.